Welcome back. How can Forgive me, Captain. I would rather not discuss Alex Hawthorne today. I am feeling discombobulated. Was there another topic on... Captain Hawthorne attacked... Alex... The information... I... Captain, we've arrived in Eridanos.
So, sneak onto a Lost Colony ship and skip it across the system? What could go wrong? Watch out. This place is half sublight thugs and half top rungers on vacation. Both are dangerous.
Hello there. Hope your atmospheric entry wasn't too troublesome. As a guest of honor, you deserve the best in comfort. Sublight Salvage and Shipping Underground, or Slug, as we like to call ourselves, is delighted to welcome you to Eridanos. I'm the Grand Colonial Head, Bellhop. I'm here to grab your bag. I can try. I was the one who found Helen's body in the Grand Ballroom. Corpse wasn't in the best shape. Aside from that, I don't know a whole lot. Helen was supposed to host the unveiling for Rizzo's newest product, Spectrum Brown. Until you catch the killer, Helen's death has been a Hell, even Black Hole Birdie, Helen's beau, has wandered off.
We should ask if they're comping the minibar. This might take a while, if you get me.
Emergency stain and accident disappearing goop capsules are currently low on capacity.
Folks get heated when it comes to cereals and their not particularly. But I think some folks were jealous of her success, or otherwise viewed her as a threat. Reckon how she came about her fame didn't help. Why, she was a natural. People fell in love with her. She managed to wrangle up a following all on her own. She ended up about as famous... I do. Rizzo's happened to rent out the Grand Colonial Ballroom from Slug for the unveiling. A nice, mutually beneficial event. But Anyway... you're making fun, right? You're still... Well, reckon I can respect your candor, even if it scares me a smidge. Anyhow, I'll look for you in the Grand Ballroom later. Since Halcyon Helen's dead, I guess they're gonna have to find a new...
Greetings, Inspector. No need to check in here. Your paperwork has all been processed. You should be able to find the Colonial right ahead. I hope you catch the killers soon, Inspector. I don't want to see the Grand Colonial shut down.
Fancy place. I hope they're not expecting us to pay.
Mr. Kincannon really knows how to run a hotel.
Terrible shame. I absolutely adored her cereals.
Whatever that is, it'll kill more than bacteria.
Oh, you're that inspector. Right. Sorry, but the pool's currently closed on account of it stinking worse than my boss. What can I do for you? Space me if I knew. I got here for my shift this morning and found it this way. They can't yell at me for this one, which is good, because a lot of folks seem upset by it. Gee, you're pretty sharp. Yeah, the reception party would have extended out here, but we had to close it off. What with the contamination. And now the reception ain't happening anyway. Can't do much. Oh, and you can talk to Lily, my boss. She probably has some great advice. I saw her walk toward the bridge to the Purpleberry Orchards earlier. Reckon she's still there. So long as you don't want to go in. That's part of the job. I think I'm listed as a security consultant. I don't know what happens if I'm... Yep, still dead. Usually Rizzo's is pretty good at making sure the people they hire ain't got Triplicale for brains. But that fella clearly wasn't worth trusting. I met him briefly once. Sounds good to me.
Muting volume now.
Talk? So, sneak onto a lost colony ship and skip it across the system. What could go wrong? So, sneak onto a lost colony ship and skip it across the system. What could go wrong?
I saw you meander on out of the pool and into the greenhouse. Now you're here. Does that mean what I think it means? Good. If you're interested in burying the pool, I'm interested in paying you. That's great to hear. Or grand, as the Byzantines are so fond of saying. Not that I ain't one. There's a chemical mixing machine in the greenhouse that has more than a few... Dump the mix into the pool, then find somebody in Slug and tell them you did it for Rizzo's. That'll get those damn back. They're getting a tad too cozy with your friendly neighborhood slugs. We don't want either gaining power on the board. Personally, I don't... If you're worried about this... This here's a messy business, friend. And when it comes to messy businesses, the rule's always the same. Don't get too curious, whether it's about Saltuna additives or espionage. Spacer's choice didn't ruin anything. Dandy, come on back. Glad you got something out of it. All I ever feel is a dull ache in my chest. Here's your pay. Spacer's Choice thanks you for your contributions to future profits. Thanks for getting your hands dirty. Things have been too quiet in this end of Eridanos for too long.
I see the adjutant sent her own freelancer to mourn Helen's death.
Report. The immediate vicinity is sparkling clean.
The murder has inflicted severe emotional trauma on me. I demand a room upgrade.
I'll bet you 10 bits this is all just some sort of publicity stunt.
With Halcyon Helen gone, does that mean Spencer...
The crime scene's awaiting, Inspector. Can't believe something like this could happen in my hotel. When I found her, I was just hoping she had a little too much to drink, but all the grievous bodily injury adds up, I suppose. Hey, Byzantines and restraint aren't too... Anyway, I'm sure you... Sure, I'd taken to checking the ballroom every few hours prior to the unveiling. Just to make sure no sprats had... Found her right before I was set to head back to my room in the lower... Tell ya, thank the law for caffeinoid. Beats all hell out of me. Maybe she was, practicing for the unveiling? What? No! Just because I found the corpse doesn't mean I made her a corpse. I was in shift all day. Besides, I loved Helen serials. Well, the old ones anyway. The newer episodes are hot junk on a warm day. Sure. What's on your... Of course I did. I just told you I found the body. Oh, wait. You mean when she was still breathing? No, of course I didn't. Plus, it's untoward for an employee to speculate about the... Honestly, you're more than a little right. I've been burning at the britches to share my theories. Day of her death, I saw Helen leave the hotel premises with the profit of profitability, and didn't see her come back. A little on the suspicious side, I think. Seemed especially strange, seeing how, as far as I was aware, the two didn't get on. Or as I can recall, Helen dismissed the ladies' seminars in some kind of interview. Said her co-star used them, but she didn't. The top rungers are all... Yep. Gives seminars on increasing profit margins and the like. I hope all that helped. Everyone's got theories. I don't reckon mine hold much more weight than anyone else's.
Black hole birdies disappeared, you know. That poor fellow must be inconsolable.
I knew I should have gotten her autograph when I had the chance.
You're the
This body has not been disposed of in a board-approved waste receptacle. Printing citation ticket 9554-PKF.
Oh, thank the law. Inspector, you don't know how relieved I am to see you. Constable Maria Keene. It's good to meet you in person, Inspector.
Dr. Goodnight. Ecstatic to make your various acquaintances and so on. Are we finished with the pleasantries? There's something I'm excited to show you. An extraordinary contraption. You'll love it.
Our coroner has developed a device which may prove useful in your investigation. Our office has instructed her to hand it over to you.
Our office has instructed her to hand it over to you. Oh, please. You make it sound as if I'm turning over stolen goods. Behold, my discrepancy amplifier. Hold it in your hands. Feel the way it hums with ontological potential. You're rather sharp in your upper story. I can see why you're the inspector. The discrepancy amplifier uses a deterministic model of our universe to detect the discrepancy between what should be and what actually is. Then it renders any discrepancies visible by using the power of magnification. Oh, goodness, no. I don't care for OSI doctrine. I just enjoy their math.
I'm contractually prohibited from endorsing off-brand technology, but I'll bend that rule just this once. You'll want to peer into the amplifier and examine the crime scene.
So, sneak onto a Lost Colony ship and skip it across the system? What could go wrong?
The discrepancy amplifier is now operational. Greetings, designated inspector and/or unauthorized larcenist. This unit has detected a discrepancy related to Halcyon Helen. Unscheduled expiration of. Begin amplification. The discrepancy amplifier has been programmed with advanced speech recognition, scientific analysis, and deterministic calculus protocols.
Oh, you'll love this. Amplifier, tell the inspector about your features.
Please do not interrupt the discrepancy amplifier. The discrepancy amplifier is programmed to take instruction from its registered or designated inspector.
How curious.
This unit's features include an... This is a bottle of unreleased Rizzo's product. Helen appears to have attempted to use it to spell something as she expired, but all she managed was a sticky bee. Rizzo's Spectrum Brown has not yet been released for consumption. Spectrum Brown was scheduled to be unveiled at the Eridanos Atmosphere Complex. This hypothesis is plausible, but requires additional information. This evidence has been recorded for later reference. Now, this footprint stands out from the normally spotless floor of the Grand Ballroom. Typically, the ballroom is cleaned twice daily, which means this must have been made by either Helen or her assailant or assailants.
I'm all for taking pointless risks, but that's just disgusting.
Footprint is a tailor-made 8.75, suggesting that its owner was very particular about their shoe size. It is also the exact size that Halcyon Helen typically prefers. There are traces of dirt throughout the footprint. The dirt carries traces of fertilizer. Grass, fertilizer, and purpleberries can all be found in the purpleberry orchards, located not far from the Grand Colonio. This deduction appears sound.
Good work, Inspector. I had a feeling we'd make some progress once we brought you onto the case. Check in with the concierge. Your room should be ready by... Something I should know? Are you asking me these questions in an official capacity? I'm encouraged to know you're taking this job seriously. Please, ask your questions. Norval, head bellhop. He was understandably distraught. I believe his feelings were genuine. He's a remarkably poor actor. Hotel security corroborate. If there were any witnesses, none came forward. Ballroom cameras were also offline at the time of the murder. Helen was very particular about having cameras on her. Security footage. There's no sign of... Frankly, I'm... Spencer Woolrich and Bertie Holcomb are officially persons of interest in this investigation. I've mostly ruled out Mr. Woolrich, leaving Bertie Holcomb as my lead suspect. Work is simple. People are complicated. Mr. Woolrich was Halcyon Helen's professional rival. Conversely, Mr. Bertie Holcomb was Helen's paramour. The relationship was reportedly dissolved. I can't rule out her murder as a crime of passion. Woolrich thinks of himself as a serious... Mr. Holcomb was in a romantic relationship with Helen. This alone is not enough to make him a lead suspect, but he does play tossball. Black... Please. Anything else? You've got my... Anything else? I'm afraid It isn't personal, Inspector. I'm just on duty right now. Talk to me later, after you've met with Administrator Ludovico.
The Purpleberry Orchards. And a footprint. Inspector, with the help of my description. Ah, I was waiting for this. Yes, of course. My apologies, Inspector. I've not yet finished my autopsy. Come back later? Oh, good. One of my favorite subjects. I didn't expect an existential... It's a... You're smarter than I look. Guess there's no shame in telling you exactly what it is you're using, seeing how you're so curious. As it so happened, I happened to have... Technically, it wasn't his whole brain, just a small cross-section, enough to operate the amplifier. But besides... Because you're the inspector. I should think that's rather... I invented the discrepancy amplifier to assist me in my own medical work. When you were hired to investigate Helen's death, I You don't miss a thing, do you, Inspector? I can see why the Think of the... I still have the blueprint and several extra prototypes floating around, but I might recommend you try to be careful with it. Some of the amplifier's internal components are... You sure? Oh! Why, I'm flattered, Inspector. I've worked at the Grand Colonial for about as long as it's been around. Prior to that, I lived in Byzantium, and that something turned out to be corpses. It's not necessarily that I dislike it, just leisure's worth its salt, of course. Absolutely. Usually I'm just a medical... The most interesting thing I saw prior to this was the back of... If I weren't here, I'd be back in my quarters, rewatching Byzantium in the spring, or... Oh, good. One of my favorite subjects. You sure?
Can we talk?
How awful!
If you...